next city manager has hit another snag. City Council is going back to interview more candidates after one of them dropped out.
KXAN's John Dabkovich has been tracking the hiring process for months, and he shows us the behind-the-scenes wrangling that's delaying the process again.
I spoke with a consultant hired by the city to help with the search, as well as with a spokesman for the mayor, and we have learned that after the first round of interviews earlier this month, 5 candidates emerged from that, but over the weekend, one of those candidates dropped out after finding out that the city would be publicly identifying those candidates moving on to the second round, and that has been an issue since this process began more than a month ago. Steve Newton, who works for that search firm hired by the city, initially recommended they keep the candidates a secret, that way saying that they would protect the anonymity of the candidates who didn't want their current employer to know that they were looking for a job. But after the Austin American-Statesman sued the city, saying it was violating state law by keeping those candidates a secret, Newton then recommended they identify those 5 candidates moving forward. And that number is important because from the beginning, Newton also recommended that the city have at least 5 candidates when they go into that second round of interviews in case somebody decides they want to drop out for other reasons. So now he's recommending the city council go back and interview at least one more candidate, if not more, then pick at least one to move on to that second round of interviews. That process is expected to take around 2 weeks, and it's another delay in a process that has already been excruciating long. It has now been 15 months since Mark Ott announced he was leaving to take a job in Washington, D.C. And to give you some perspective on that, of the 5 other major cities who have hired a city manager in the past year or so, only Charlotte and Fort Worth have taken longer than 8 months to do the job. A spokesman for the mayor told me they still, though, plan on hiring a city manager before the end of the year. And when I asked Newton about that, he told me, quote, "That's the goal we're working towards." In the newsroom, John Dabkovich, KXAN News.
We wanted to know how this hiring process compares to the last time Austin hired a city manager a decade ago. Taking a closer look, Toby Futrell announced her retirement in July of 2007 after working for the city for more than 30 years. While searching for her replacement, the city released the names of 8 semifinalists. Futrell stayed until her successor, Mark Ott, took office 7 months later. Ott announced he was leaving in August of 2016 and stayed 2.5 months before leaving for his new job.